Allie, and today is going to be another writing vlog. Today is Tuesday, so I have an hour and 15-minute little dance class with some elementary schoolers today. So I'm not going to show you the actual class, but until I have to go to that, which is a few hours from now, I am going to try to get some writing in, some sprints done, and all of that fun stuff. And we'll just kind of see where we go from there. So I will see you in just a minute back in the office. And here we are. So I have my toast and I have my coffee. This is my breakfast / lunch for today. And since I don't really want to type and also eat something sticky at the same time, I'm probably just going to hang out and watch some YouTube for the next couple minutes while I eat this up, and then we'll get to writing after that. All right, so I got a little bit carried away with YouTube and I've been watching it for like the past half hour. So now I'm actually going to start writing, I promise. I'm going to start with a quick warm up. I think I may do 10 minutes this time. I did 5 minutes last time because I didn't have much to kind of pull together, but this time I need to kind of go back through and double check, see what stuff I am going to take over from the previous draft and what stuff is going to come completely new and fresh. I also have to decide, I kind of have two things that I could work on. I could either progress chronologically or I could jump ahead a few chapters, and I have to decide which one of those two things I'm going to do. So that is what this next 10 minutes is for, and then I will check back in with you to tell you what I decided to do, I guess. So I have decided to work chronologically because I went back through my old draft, and there is not a ton of stuff that I can pull anymore because this is around the point where I decided to restart the draft with a lot of significant changes. We're now at the point where it becomes hard to keep all of those things the same. And this is also the point where, since I did restart the draft, there isn't as much stuff to pull from anyway. Like up until this point, I've had at least, even if it all got scrapped, like everything was a full chapter, it was a full it was a full piece of writing, whereas now I have a lot of chapters that are just like a couple paragraphs, or even some of them are just like me writing a note to myself on like what I plan to happen in that chapter. So there's a lot less to pull from now. There are a couple things that I can still pull, but those won't come until later on in the story, which is why I was debating jumping a couple chapters ahead, because I do have some stuff I can pull from that. I have like barely over a paragraph of this chapter written, so I'm really like coming into it blind, so it might take me a while to get in the groove of it, but let's hope that it goes well, and I will check back in with you after. Alright guys, so I have finished the first of my sprints, and it is definitely a slog. I am not only starting to write without having anything to draw from anymore. This is a scene where two characters are actually like fighting, and so, I mean, they're not like fighting as in punching each other out or anything, but they are having a disagreement, I guess, and I am really struggling because the chapter starts at the beginning of this disagreement, and when I first wrote that like paragraph, it was before I had jumped over to write this kind of training montage that I was working on last week, and so now like my brain is just totally not in this fighting mode. It's like I'm not prepared to have these characters fight right now, and I actually really enjoy and love both of these characters, and so I'm having a really hard time like having them be mean to each other. And so it's a little bit difficult because I want to make sure that they're staying in their voice and that they are acting the way that they would act as characters, and only knowing what they know at the current point in the story, because like secrets are always going to be a part of things, and certain secrets have like just come to light in this thing, and they're having a bit of a disagreement about what this revelation is going to mean for them going forward. And it's just kind of difficult because I I know everything because I'm the writer, you know, like I'm the one who came up with all of this. I know like how this whole thing is going to work out, but these characters don't. And so I'm trying to make sure that all of the characters are not only acting and speaking in their own voice, but they're also acting the way that a person would act if they didn't know all of the things that I know, if they just had in their head only the information they have up until now. And that's like a lot harder to do than you would think, especially when I'm like really coming into this kind of cold where I'm not, you know, in a heated mood. I'm not mad at anybody right now, so it's kind of hard to write a fight when all that's going on in my head is like, don't fight, I love you. So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at. It is definitely a slog, but I'm going to try to do another 20-minute sprint. We'll see how that goes, and then I might take Jenny for a little bit of a walk because she's very excited right now, and she's just kind of hanging out and keeps wanting me to play with her as I'm writing. So we shall see how this next sprint goes. Might take a break, might not, and then I will check back in with you once again. The fight is over, thank God. I mean, it's not like solved, but this current iteration of this fight is over. And now I can move on to some other stuff, which will hopefully get me into the kind of training montage thing that I was working on last week. It would be really awesome if I could kind of sew those pieces together today and make it into one chronological piece. That would be super cool. But we shall see if that happens. I really do have to find a way to tie those two pieces together that will make sense and work with the trajectory of the story. So probably what I'm going to do is go back and look at my plot outline, which I have not looked at in a really long time, and go back and see what I was planning on doing at this point in the story in this draft. So I think what I'm going to do, all right, I've decided just now on camera, I'm going to look at the plot outline, kind of see where I'm going from here, come up with like a mental idea of what I want to happen next, and then I'm going to take Ginny for a little bit of a walk and just kind of walk around the block once and keep my music on in my headphones and kind of just see where I want the scene to go, and then I'll come back, do another sprint, and then we'll see where we're at time-wise, because then it might be about time for me to head out. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I shall see you guys after. So the walk was pretty much a major failure. Ginny is still very much a puppy, so she will chase after anyone and anything that crosses her path in the middle of a walk. She's very well trained aside from that. She's just still very much a puppy, so we basically just walked around one little lap around this kind of dry pond that is in our neighborhood. And like I said, there is a ton of construction that's happening around our neighborhood right now. So not only was she chasing after like bugs and things that were interesting to her that are usually and always going to be around a walk path, she was also very intrigued by the workers that were like napping next to where we walk. So I had to like drag her away from this poor man who was like trying to sleep and try to like make sure that she didn't bark or anything like that, because she, you know, is a puppy, so she will bark. And now I am just going to do one more sprint. It is a little bit past 1 now. It might be almost 1:30, and I have to leave for my dance class at 2:20, 2:25-ish. So follow along with me as we finish up this last round of sprints. I will kind of check back in with you in terms of word count and where I'm at with the scenes that I'm working on, and we will kind of leave it at that. So without further ado, let's go back to the office. Okay, so I had to leave the office because it was just getting so dark in there. It's getting like a little bit overcast, but just the way that the light is hitting that particular window in the office is just like making everything so dark. I basically finished that 20-minute sprint. There's kind of a lot of mini scenes happening right now. So there was the midpoint that I worked on a couple months ago, and that midpoint has a lot of kind of like really crazy revelations that come to light in that scene. So there needed to be a pretty substantial fallout for that, and the fallout happens very much publicly, like not in front of public who, like people they don't know, but there's like a whole group of people and all of them find out these things at the same time. So they're all dealing with it as a group and all having these different takes on it individually, but there's also, you know, individual interpersonal relationships that are happening in this group. So I wanted to make sure that the fallout wasn't just the public, like the whole group, but also that the individuals in this group could have a chance to kind of hash it out. And so that's where that one fight came from, is one set of characters who are coming to terms with it in their own way. So now I'm back into a transitional period where they're literally moving from place to place. That is kind of where I'm at now, like where I need to start writing from here on out, is them actually physically traveling. Not everything has been like solved through the midpoint yet. She has not had individual conversations with some of the most important people yet, but she has had individual conversations with some of them, and basically the ones that I felt like needed to get out of the way as quick as possible. Because if you were actually a person like in the real world, these would be the people you talk to. So yeah, that is what I am working on now from here on out, is that transition period. I don't think I'm going to be able to get those two sections, the training montage that I was working on last week, I'm probably not going to be able to tie that together yet, because that requires a couple more personal conversations, and also it requires them to be in a different place. So I need to both write them actually moving from place to place, being in that new place for a hot minute, and then having the conversation that leads to her getting this training montage. So there's a lot going on, and it's all very difficult. The middle of a story is really hard to write, and so I'm constantly like trying to be a perfectionist about, do I have too much character stuff? Do I have too much plot stuff? Do I have not enough of this character, or not enough of this or that or whatever? And so I am very like hard on myself in terms of, am I structuring this right? Am I doing this the right way? Because I want to do it right the first time, but that's really just stupid, because especially with this stuff that I'm not even pulling from a previous draft. I call this draft 1.5, but that 0.5 is like done. I've already finished that. So now we are on to the like rest of this story that I have not ever written anything for. So it's totally okay for it to be total garbage right now. And I don't think it is even total garbage. I think it's okay. It definitely needs editing, but I'm just gonna try to work on being like happier about it, because I do think that a lot of what is stopping me from getting a lot of words in per day is just myself, and like I agonize over every single sentence, and I'm constantly like deleting sentences, deleting paragraphs, going back and redoing them, and it would be so much easier if I could just like toss that out the window and it just writes and get it all out of the way. I know for a fact I would have gotten so many more words in today if I wasn't like worrying about, do I start this sentence this way, or do I end it this way, or do I have this person talk first or this person talk first, and what would this person say, and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna work on that. Hopefully I will get better at it by NaNoWriMo, because that's when I'm definitely gonna need to kind of throw that by the wayside. And then we'll see where we go from there. So from here on out, I'm done with the writing aspect of today. So I am just going to get ready to go to dance, and I probably have to leave for that in a while. So I'm just gonna get all of my stuff ready. I have to come up with a step for my kids to do. So I am going to work on that, and then I will just kind of sign off with you guys on my way to or from dance. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. It'll depend on what we get to talking to in the car. Alright, so my phone ran out of storage as I was driving here, so you guys are gonna miss out once again on my Naruto rant, but basically I'm done now. I am now about to head home, but I think I have to call my fiance, so just in case, I'm gonna sign off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this secondary little vlog that I've made. I hope to make more in the future, because you guys seem to like the first one, and I really am starting to like kind of just hanging out with you guys. So that is going to be it for me today, and if you like this video, give it a like. If you like my content, do subscribe. I make videos every Friday most of the time, and I will see you in the next video.